Hey everyone, Lewis here, bringing upfront creative content for CG artists one more time. Today I have this amazing Parallax occlusion mapping shader made by the user Magrilla. I'll be leaving a link to his Twitter page on the description below if you want to check out. And it's basically an amazing shader for Blender 2.8 that you can optimize lots of rendering power with it. So what are the implications of using a shader like this? First off, parallax occlusion mapping comes into play when this technique can reproduce a high quality illusion of depth, as you can see here, by only using one face. This is just one face, guys, but in the rendering power we have actually this kind of treatment to the image. And this high illusion of depth for regular textures, they are very cheap to compute actually, and they also use very little memory, you know. And this is what you're going to do. We're going to transform this tiling texture in a illusion of a interior. And by that, I mean I have another layer in which I stack together the same plane to actually recreate these different interiors. I scattered it randomly because in a real life environment, not everyone is at the building at the same time, of course, and you have different lighting conditions. So it's normal for a few of the windows not to have an interior, maybe have a curtain or something. We can do that as well. And this works really well. I'm using a single plane here with a couple of normal maps to convey this brick texture with a array modifier, two arrays modifier actually. So this is just two pieces stacked together, and the building itself is nothing inside it. Actually, it's just these different windows with the parallax occlusion mapping put together. So we'll be jumping into Photoshop and putting some textures on that parallax shader. So let me grab here in another window for you guys to see the shader editor we're using inside Eevee to recreate this parallax, okay? So again, this is provided by the user Magrilla. I'll also be leaving in the description alongside his Twitter a paper that explains broadly how occlusion mapping works for interior shading. Like this is what we are doing to simulate a building, okay? You see that as I play with this value here, I can control the depth of the room, as well as the different walls in which they are placed. Starting off, this is the texture we are mapping. It's a default color UV that you can create with Blender. And I'll be actually jumping into a website called textures.com, in which you can find high fidelity photos of facades and other parts of buildings. Here I have imported a good one I found with different yellowish kind of interior with simple wall and simple curtains as well. And also, by avoiding any mistakes, I wrote up the different sites that are being mapped in the shader and transferred to this texture. So for the sides, I will get color picker, get this color and paste it right there with no transparency at all. We don't want transparency. And now I will check this box here to revert the gradient. Now we have that faked ambient occlusion effect we're going for. If you're going straight for that, I think I'm gonna flip it. I'll make the ceiling a brighter yellow and the walls a darker one, because the ceiling is where the light is being emitted from, right? So it makes sense that the other two parts of the room have a darker yellow, of course. So let's make it a little bit brownish. There we go. Now, just another quick tip here. If you actually Google for EES light profiles, you find examples such as this one here that you can pick from. They are great for actually kit bashing photos or things like that, because you have different God rays in which the light scatters when it reaches the light bulb. It's a subtle effect, but it conveys realism as well. So I like picking one up. You know, nowadays with lots of LED lights inside houses, this is more common, you know, like a straight flash. But not long time ago, those were really more specific for bulbs, you know, glass bulbs. So I'll be picking one up from here.
A few moments later.
Well, I think this is enough for a test. Let's go to Blender again and apply that to see how we can achieve this effect. So here in the node, you have all the mapping settings applied, and right here in the end, next to the material output, we have the image input. This one we can select the atlas we just built, and boom, here we have a little bit of the texture. Now you see I'm misleading some of the mapping, so this is actually something we can also fix in here by going in the mapping section here. If I move it right here in the X position, I can center that. There we go. It's not totally mapped perfectly, but you can get any idea. I will try to find another new shader in which you can map each face individually. I think there is one you can do that, but for this one you have to content with yourself with the mirroring of the areas. No, I also added a fake lighting coming from the outside here, and there we have it, a fake interior mapping applied in Blender. That's well, you can also make your own textures. I'll be leaving this file below, probably a updated version, so you can play around, add your own textures, customize, make it your own. And yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. See you next time. Please leave a like and subscribe, you know, those classical things YouTubers hires you to do. It really helps actually for my channel. When I can have a little time to post, I post a video tutorial. So see you guys next time. Have a great weekend.